ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So we were in the discussion about the fruit. What are the two things we studied? We studied about what are the two things we are studying. One is called as the true fruits, and what are we discussing today? The types of fruits. What we are discussing? Types of fruits. When we take the types of fruits, first one is called true fruits, second one is called as false fruits, and the third one is called as parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, so altogether we have three categories: types of fruits, true fruits, false fruits, parthenocarpic fruits. So we already have discussed parthenocarpic fruits, we discussed true fruits. Now we need to discuss and continue our discussion with false fruits. So let us go with the second category, what we call false fruits. Right. So what we have to discuss now, the second category called as what? False fruits. Now when we take the false fruits here, generally what we say false fruits here, the fruit which develops from, in this case fruits they get developed from other floral parts, other floral parts. Which are the other floral parts we get it? The other floral parts, what do we get it here, are nothing but maybe calyx, thalamus, and also pedicel. So you people are aware about these parts, right? So when you say fruits develops from other floral parts, the fruits which we get and develop from other floral parts. Which are the other floral parts we take? Thalamus, calyx, pedicel. Calyx, you know, they are also called as what? Sepals. And pedicel, we know. What is a pedicel? Pedicel is nothing but the stalk of the flower. The stalk of the flower. What is a pedicel? Pedicel is also called as nothing but what? Stalk of the flower. Calyx are also called as what? Sepals. Thalamus is also called as what? Receptacle. Because you need to remember all these terminologies. Why? Because sometimes the question will be given indirectly about using any one of the other terminologies. So whenever the fruit develops from other floral parts means calyx, or maybe from pedicel, or maybe from thalamus, along with ovary is called or are called false fruits, are called false fruits. I hope you got it, right? What's exactly meant by false fruits here? What are true fruits? The fruits which develop from ovary are called true fruits. What are false fruits? The fruits which develops from other floral parts. Other floral parts, the fruits which develops from other floral parts. For example, pedicel, calyx, thalamus. Do you think only other floral parts are involved in fruit formation? No, along with ovary. What is that? Along with ovary. Ovary is there. The fruit develops from ovary, no doubt, including other floral parts. What are the other floral parts? Pedicel, sometimes the stalk of the flower. It also may contribute to the fruit formation. Sometimes the thalamus or receptacle or calyx sometimes along with the ovary. Any one of this part, all these parts will come under floral parts. Of course ovary is there. With the ovary directly develops into fruit means parthenocarpic fruit. Ovary after fertilization means true fruit. Along with ovary, if any one of the floral part contributes means that is called as false fruit. Again I repeat, the fruit develops from other floral parts such as pedicel, calyx, thalamus along with ovary are called as what? False fruits. So let us take examples for the false fruit. Now you can take examples such as apple, and along with that we can take pear, and along with that even you can take strawberry, and including cashew nut, So when you take all these three, apple, pear, strawberry, when you take all these three, in all these cases fleshy thalamus is edible. Meaning which is the edible part in this case? Very, very important. Thalamus becomes edible part. Where thalamus becomes edible part? Apple, pear, strawberry, in these three, what is edible here? Thalamus is edible. That means in apple, what we eat, what is edible, what we eat is thalamus. Of course ovary is present, but we do not eat ovary. What we eat is nothing but what? Thalamus. So generally question appears on this. Whenever here the question appears, this is a note point, question getting point here. Generally apple, pear, strawberry, what is the edible part means? You have to remember thalamus, or you will get the question, the fleshy thalamus is edible in which fruits means, either of one option will be there in the following given options. Now the last one is cashew nut. In this what is edible in cashew nut? In this pedicel is edible. What is the part we eat in this? In this what we eat is nothing but pedicel. The stalk of the flower, pedicel is edible. What is edible here? Pedicel. Pedicel meaning what? Stalk of the flower. Pedicel is edible. So in case of cashew nut, whenever you get the question, remember pedicel is edible. Or where in which fruit you find pedicel is edible, remember it is nothing but cashew nut. And here the type of fruit is nothing but nut. Even try to remember this, because we are going to discuss this nut again in types of fruits. Okay, so nut also is a type of fruit that we are going to discuss later. Right. Now these all are nothing but what we call false fruits. Now we completed all three categories. What are they? True fruits we completed, and false fruits we completed, and we completed about parthenocarpic fruits. Now let us measure one, let us come to the major type of fruit, that is nothing but a true fruit. So let us continue our discussion with true fruit. Right. Let us talk about true fruits. Now continue our topic with types of true fruits. Let us go ahead with types of fruits. Here before we talk about the fruits here, generally when you take the fruit wall is called pericarp. What do we get here? The generally fruit is enclosed with the wall. In generally when you see, the fruit is enclosed with the wall. Generally the fruit wall itself is called as what? Pericarp. Very, very important. Now the pericarp is divided into three layers. The three layers which we find: epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Generally fruit enclosed with the wall, that itself is called as pericarp. Now types of fruits here. Now based on nature of pericarp, what is the thing we are taking into consideration? Based on nature of pericarp, it is divided into two types. What are divided into two types? True fruits are divided into two types. What are they? Let us take the first one is we call them as fleshy fruits. First category we call them as fleshy fruits, and other category it's called as dry fruits. Okay, so based on the nature of pericarp, what you find here, based on the nature of pericarp, we divide the fruits into two categories. What are they? Fleshy fruits, and other one is dry fruits. Why? Because if you look at in this case, we may say pericarp may be fleshy or it may be dry. What is pericarp? Pericarp is fruit wall. Fruit wall or pericarp, maybe it is fleshy or sometimes may be dry. If it is fleshy, they are called fleshy fruits. If it is dry, they are called dry fruits. So generally if you take dry fruits, we will discuss dry fruits later. What do you say in this case? Obviously we write pericarp is dry and invisible. Pericarp is dry and moreover it is invisible, means may not be seen properly. Invisible means may not be seen properly, not properly visible, it is called invisible. So it is dry, completely dry part, and it is invisible. Whenever pericarp is dry and invisible, such type of fruits are called as dry fruits. We will discuss dry fruits in later part of the class. Let us concentrate on fleshy fruits. Now in this we say the fruit is juicy and succulent. Succulents at maturity. So we say in this case what you will write? The fruit is, what you can write? The fruit is juicy and succulent at maturity. It totally becomes juicy and it is succulent at the time of maturity. So such type of fruits are called, generally called as what? Fleshy fruits. They are generally called as what? Fleshy fruits. Now if you take the fleshy fruits, now fleshy too subdivided into the 5 types. Subdivided into 5 types. What are the fleshy fruits are divided into 5 types? The first one is called as berry. Then the second one is called as pepo. The third one is called as pome. And the fourth one is called as hesperidium. And the fifth one is called as a drupe. Alright, so here come again, I will say again, types of true fruits. Now the fruit wall itself is called as pericarp. Now based on the nature of fruit wall or pericarp, the true fruits are divided into 2 types, fleshy fruits, dry fruits. Why? Because pericarp may be, what you can write here, pericarp, P. Pericarp may be fleshy or dry. If the pericarp is fleshy, we call fleshy fruits. If the pericarp is dry, then we call dry fruits. We will discuss this later. In this, try to remember pericarp is dry and invisible. Coming to fleshy fruits, here they are juicy and succulent at the time of maturity. By the time fruit gets matured, fruit is completely developed, it becomes very juicy and it is succulent. Now these fleshy fruits are further divided into 5 types. What are they? Berry, pepo, pome, hesperidium as well as drupe. So what is the first category? We will start discussion. Berry. Let us talk about berry. Types of fleshy fruits. What are we discussing? The types of fleshy fruits. Now, when we take the types of fleshy fruit, what is the first category we are discussing? In this first category, what we are discussing, it's called berry. We are discussing the first one called as berry. Okay. So, when you take the berry here, it can be let us take the characteristics. By 2 multi-carpellary, meaning number of carpels may be 2 or 3 or 4, 5 or maybe many carpels. By 2 multi-carpellary, right? And we find Syncarpus gynoecium. Syncarpus gynoecium. What is the meaning of syn? Syn means carpels are fused. Apocarpus means carpels are free. Michaelia, Magnolia, Rosa, Citrus all will come. Carpels are fused. We studied in gynoecium. Did you remember? Then syncarpus meaning here the carpels are fused. Syncarpus meaning carpels are fused. Right. So, when you take the berry here, now coming to before we talk about other characteristics of berry, let me tell you, in case of fleshy fruits, I will just write down the note point here. Just take down the note point. Now, in fleshy fruits, pericarp is divided into, what is pericarp? Pericarp itself is called as what? Fruit wall. What am I trying to discuss with you here? In fleshy fruit there is a note point. What is that? In fleshy fruits, pericarp itself is called fruit wall, is divided into 3 layers. Divided into how many layers? The fruit wall itself is divided into 3 layers. What are they? Let us take. Outer layer is called epicarp. In the fruit wall, when you see the outermost layer of the fruit itself is called as epicarp. Middle layer it's called mesocarp. The outermost layer what you find itself is called epicarp. Middlemost layer itself is called mesocarp. Middle layer, fruit wall may be divided into 3 layers. Outer wall is epicarp, middle wall is mesocarp, and then we find inner layer. Inner layer of the fruit wall, it's called endocarp. It's called as what? Endocarp. I hope you got it, right? Again I say, this is in fleshy fruits, pericarp or fruit wall itself is divided into 3 layers. Outermost fruit wall it's called epicarp, middlemost fruit wall it's called mesocarp, innermost fruit wall it's called as endocarp. Now we have 3 layers together contribute pericarp, and this happens only in fleshy fruits and absent in case of dry fruits. This is one note point. And another note point, generally the duration of fruit, generally the duration for formation of fruit, duration for formation of fruit means how much time it takes for the formation of the fruit, how much time it takes for the formation of the fruit. It may be sometimes in some plants it may be weeks and sometimes it may be months and sometimes it may be years. Okay, in some cases it may take weeks time to form the fruit. In some plants it may take months together, in some plant it may take years together. Now why I am writing this as a note point? Note point meaning what? Very important point, you need to keep it in your mind. Question getting points are called note points. So here I have given this because longest duration for fruit formation, longest duration for fruit is observed in case of Lodacea maldivica. Guys, very important. Longest duration for fruit meaning it takes lot of time, many years of time itself is called longest duration, means more time it takes for the formation of which fruit. If that is the question, make sure that you have to take the option Lodacea maldivica. This is the scientific name. This is commonly called as a double coconut. Guys, I hope it is visible. Okay, Lodacea maldivica, when you say this is the largest fruit. Again we are going to study another chapter. There is one more chapter called flowering plants. In flowering plants again the point is going to come. At that time I will ask you guys, what is the longest duration, which fruit has longest duration, means which fruit takes a long duration of time for its formation, means guys you have to remember it's Lodacea maldivica. Okay, it's commonly called as what? Double coconut. So it's called as largest fruit. So in other chapter we are going to study the same example. There we will study which is the largest fruit. Which is the largest fruit means again you have to write Lodacea. It's commonly called double coconut, means almost the size of double the size of coconut. So in other chapter, in the first year itself, in other chapter, once again we are going to study Lodacea. There we will study that 18 kg weight and 186 circumference and all that we are going to study. So do remember, I am going to ask you about Lodacea. Remember, this is a fruit which has longest duration for fruit formation. Very remember, and it will be cultivated. It was found in Seychelles, Iceland. Where you find this? It is not found in our India. It is not found. If it is found in India, we might have come to know about double coconut. Right? We do not find generally in India, right? Not in Asia. It is found in Seychelles, Iceland. There you find what is called Lodacea. Right. Now I told you these note points to understand in all the types of fleshy fruits we find epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. Now let us come to berry. Now let us come back to berry. Now if you take in case of berry, here we see epicarp and mesocarp are fused. Epicarp and mesocarp are fused and fleshy and becomes fleshy. Outermost fruit wall epicarp, middlemost mesocarp fused and fleshy and forms pulp. It forms what? Pulp, fruit pulp. Generally the pulp what we eat, fruit pulp. Okay, fused and fleshy and forms pulp. Right, and in this case epicarp may be thin and endocarp lead to formation of the seeds. Seeds are hard. Endocarp lead to formation of seeds. Seeds are hard. Now you understood, no? In any fruit we find three. In all fleshy fruits we find epicarp, mesocarp, endocarp. Now what are the condition in berry? In berry epicarp and mesocarp are fused and becomes fleshy and forms the pulp of the fruits, right? And endocarp here it forms the seeds and seeds are hard. Right. So these are the categories we find in this case. right. So here let's come back to this. Let us take examples. A berry may contain superior ovary. Okay, a berry may contain superior ovary. Where you find superior ovary? Solanum as well as Lycopersicum, meaning berry fruit with the superior ovary. Where you find this? You find in case of Solanum as well as in Lycopersicum. Similarly, berry also found with inferior ovary. Berry also found with inferior ovary. Where you find here? So in this case you can take Psidium, Guava, Musa. Musa means banana. See many? Morphology means if you are going on digging the soil, you will get so many examples. Guys, there is no other way. You need to sit and you need to practice all the examples. Then only you can remember all the examples. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult to handle morphology. Morphology has too many examples. So, if you sit and practice everyday class as soon as you listen the class, if you practice all the examples number of times, and when you keep adding so many classes, you will not forget the previous examples. Morphology means you need to practice all the examples. Berry with superior ovary found in Solanum, Lycopersicum. What is Lycopersicum? Lycopersicum, it is called as tomato. Right, and inferior ovary, berry fruit with inferior ovary find in Psidium. Psidium is a scientific name for guava. Musa, Musa is nothing but what? Banana. Now in this case if you look at, let us talk about Musa. We have some important points to be noted in Musa. Remember, let's talk about banana. So banana, it's what type of fruit? Banana. Banana, so far what we have discussed, banana we have discussed, it is a parthenocarpic fruit or also called as pseudocarpic fruit. Guys, again I am giving you note point. Remember, note points meaning here you have to remember important points, meaning you have to remember some points that called note points. So try to remember, parthenocarpic fruits are also called as accessory fruits or also called as pseudocarps. So remember, try to remember the note point. Parthenocarpic fruits are also called accessory fruits, which are also called as pseudocarps. Why they are called pseudocarp? Not from ovary. From ovary but not with fertilization. Ovary without fertilization, without seeds, develops into fruit. So fruit appears, pseudo means false. Fruit appears as if it look like with the seeds, but there are no seeds. That is why it is called pseudocarp. Okay, meaning seedless, means no fertilization. Parthenocarpic fruits are also called as accessory fruits, are also called as pseudocarps. Sometimes in the question they will give you accessory fruit example or pseudocarp example. At that time you have to remember the examples of parthenocarpic fruits. Right. Now banana is what? It is an example for parthenocarpic fruit. It is an example for pseudocarpic fruit. Moreover, banana is also example for what? A fleshy fruit. In fleshy fruit it fall in which category? It is a berry. It is a berry. Means banana also develops from ovary without fertilization. If it is develops with fertilization also, it is a berry. Right. Now in this case, in case of banana, what you call pericarp. Pericarp and thalamus fused to form fused to form exocarp. Carp are fused, fleshy, they are fused, first of all they are fused and fleshy, edible and fleshy, edible. Okay, so what we can say in this case, mesocarp, endocarp both are fused and they will become fleshy and they can be eaten or taken as a food. They are edible, right. So, these all points are about banana. Remember, banana is an example, Musa, banana is an example for inferior ovary, right. I will just quickly revise it. In types of fleshy fruits, we are discussing berry. Berry is bi or multicarpellary. What you find in this case? Syncarpus gynoecium, where epicarp is thin, epicarp and mesocarp fused, fleshy and forms the pulp. Endocarp, where seeds are hard. Now, berry may be with superior ovary, example solanum, lycopersicum. Berry may be with inferior ovary, psidium, guava, musa, banana. Now, if you take banana, banana it's parthenocarpic fruit which is also called pseudocarpic fruit. It's a fleshy fruit type called berry. Apart from this, pericarp and thalamus fused to form what is called exocarp. Exocarp or we call peel. Next is mesocarp and endocarp are fused and fleshy, edible. Mesocarp both are fused and moreover they are fleshy and edible. Parthenocarpic fruits are also called as accessory fruits or also called as pseudocarps. Now what you can do is we will discuss about this banana. So, stop sir. Stop chicken sir. So here, yeah. So in this case, if you look at, we just have brought the banana, fleshy banana. Now when you look at this banana, what did I say? Because questions will come. This is very, very important. Of course, it's a very common banana what we eat. Now, outermost peel. In case of banana, outermost peel is called as what? Exocarp. Now this is the one what I remove this peel. What we find this peel itself is called as what? Exocarp. How the peel is produced here? How the peel is produced? This is nothing but a combination of both pericarp and thalamus. At the time of fruit formation, flower develops into fruit. Flower develops into fruit. Flower has thalamus. That thalamus fused with fruit wall. What is the fruit wall? Pericarp. Pericarp and thalamus both are fused to form exocarp. That means this is the exocarp. So try to remember, sometimes they will ask you question, peel of banana, exocarp of banana is produced by what? Meaning a combination of both pericarp and thalamus. Now the white colored part, what is eaten, what is edible, white color part, it's a combination of both mesophyll and endocarp. It's a combination of both mesocarp and endocarp. Mesocarp and endocarp are fused and you can see the white color edible part. What is edible part in case of banana means you have to remember because very, very important in terms of getting the question. Similarly, when you take the lycopersicum, tomato, right, tomato also berry fruit. Let us discuss about that berry also. So when you take this berry, so guys keep listening, I will just coming. So when you take here this particular thing, I hope it's very clear. Now this tomato is for what? This is lycopersicum, tomato. Tomato is what? A berry, right? So when you take this berry here in this case, now closely you can observe, I can take the uppermost layer. So the outermost layer what I can take? The outermost layer what I can take? This is epicarp. What I took here is epicarp. Epicarp and mesocarp both are fused and fleshy. So it cannot be separated. Look at here, this is very, very thin. Very, very thin. So what is this? This is called as epicarp. It's visible, sir? Yeah, this is called epicarp. Now what you can see here inside, mesocarp, epicarp and mesocarp. See the layer what I removed, this is mesocarp. See the layer what I removed, this is mesocarp, right, and this is epicarp. These two are fused, we cannot separate. This is epicarp and this is mesocarp, both are fused. And what do they form here? They form the pulp. Can you see the pulp? Yes. So inside you can see the seeds. Now inside what you can see? You can see the seeds. So here when you see the seeds inside, these seeds are endocarp. Can you see the seeds here? The seeds are endocarp. Endocarp, the seeds are hard. So you cannot find them, you cannot chew them. So they are very, very hard. And guys, tell me in this case, what type of placentation? Because last class we studied no placentation. See, this is an axis, this is an axis, this is an axis, and this axis having seeds. Can you see this is endocarp, this is endocarp, this is endocarp. What type of placentation you find? Axial placentation. What you find? Axial placentation. So in case of tomato, so you can see that I pressed it, but this is very clear. So it's visible so very clearly. So here, see here, this is axis, this is axis, this is axis. So this is axial placentation. So sometimes you'll get the question, tomato, what type of placentation is axial? See here, this is placenta. White color one is placenta, and surrounding that you can see the seeds. You can see the seeds, and this is axis. Placenta forms the axis, and this is round. Now this is axial placentation. I have drawn the diagram for the last class, and the outermost one is thin is epicarp, middle this one is this is epicarp, and this is mesocarp, and center pulp is nothing but endocarp. Epicarp, mesocarp, they form the pulp. Inside the pulp you can see endocarp, that seeds are present. Now this is an example for berry. For berry we discussed two. One is Lycopets mesculentum tomato, Musa banana, because there is a possibility of getting questions from this part and this part including this part.